Sleep can be more dangerous than sin. Not the kind of sleep you get after a long day of work. That's a gift. But I'm talking about the sleep of the soul. A soul that has become numb, checked out, and distracted by worldly concerns. St. Paul reminds us, don't drift off like the rest of the world. Rather, stay awake. Be sober. The Lord is coming. And unfortunately, he doesn't send you a Google invite to the appointment. He's going to come like a thief in the night. We also receive a wake-up call from St. Luke today. Jesus walks into the synagogue at Capernaum. It's the Sabbath. People are relaxed, off guard, perhaps a little too comfortable, half asleep in their faith, because suddenly when Jesus speaks with authority, they're shocked. They're surprised. Because he speaks not like the scribes who recall the story of God, he speaks like he wrote it. And his word does what good preaching should always do. It stirs their heart, makes them ask questions, discern, and shakes their souls awake. So much so that even the darkness that was hiding among them couldn't sit still anymore. Even the demon cries out, "I know who you are, the Holy One of God." Isn't that something? The unclean spirit recognizes Jesus before half the people in the synagogue do. They're the ones who are supposed to recognize the Messiah when he comes. That's what all the prophets spent their lives telling them. But evil never struggles to identify Christ because it cannot bear his presence. So Jesus immediately rebukes the evil spirit. All it takes is 5 words. Well, 6 really in this translation. Be quiet. Come out of him. That's all it takes to banish the spirit back to hell. The man is thrown down, but he is not harmed. Darkness leaves him, and only light remains. The man has been set free by the word. Now, let's be honest. Whenever we read the gospel, we do realize that Jesus is also speaking directly to us, right? We all know the voices that whisper when they think the light is not watching. You're not good enough. You'll never change. God can forgive other people, but not you. You're the only one that the creator of the universe can't do anything about. Those voices have a way of convincing us, even when we know better. But listen, those voices are not from Jesus. They are, of course, from the enemy. Because what does the Lord say to them? Be quiet. Get out. That's the authority of Christ. He speaks and things happen. He commands and demon scatters. It should come as no surprise to us. This is, in fact, the very same word that said, "Let there be light," and light exploded into existence from nothingness. He neither soothes our sins or negotiates with them. He silences them, he rebukes them, and then he drives them out with a word of authority. I do wonder, however, do we actually want him to? It's so easy to make peace with the darkness inside of us because it's harder to fight the darkness. The pain is familiar, and once you become numb to it, you say, well, it's not so bad. But St. Paul warns us against the danger of false peace, the fake security that says, everything's fine and I'll deal with it later. It's not fine. We just prefer the convenient lie over the difficult work of humility and reconciliation. How quick we are to remember the pain of confession so we don't go back the next time we need it, because we're afraid. Without fail, however, the joy and peace we feel after we make a confession quickly makes us feel like fools for putting it off for so long. Because it's in there, in the confessional, that we hear once more the authoritative voice of Jesus, not the priest. He's in persona Christi in that moment of sacramental reconciliation. And he says, I absolve you, and it happens. He speaks, and sin is driven out of us. So, the question is simple. Are we willing to let him speak to us? Or are we spiritually asleep, clutching to our false peace and security, hoping that we won't hear him so we can avoid falling to the ground when he rebukes our sins? We can't remain asleep, though. We must let him drive us to our knees so that only then he can lift us up and set us standing tall in freedom, peace, and joy. If the demon in Capernaum could not keep quiet in Jesus' presence, why do we? If evil can't help but name him, what excuse do we have to remain silent? Stay alert, stay sober, and keep your eyes fixed on Jesus, because the one who silences demons also speaks your freedom. Do we want that freedom? Or are we still tempted to slap that snooze button the next time that Jesus sounds the alarm?